originally called touchdown on the field, and so they didn't act like they were doing any replay or change or anything like that. So we went with the call on the field without any indication that there was something different. So now if we get an indication, something from the referees later or something, no, that was a fumble recovery and a touchdown, we'll go with that. But we did not get any indication that the original call of touchdown was overturned. Our plan is to bring Chris Rodriguez in here as soon as we Coach Stoops. We're trying to get the bus through Coach Stoops. I know it's 11:13, so we're dealing with the late night. So we'll do that quickly as we can. As Coach Stoops comes up, just a couple of notes on Coach Stoops. The win tonight gives him a 51-50 record at UK. First time in his 9 years at UK that has been over the 500 mark. He was at one point in the 2016 season, 2 games in, were 12-26. Since then, 39 wins, 24 losses.
Thank you, Tony. I'd like to first recognize the Heroes Day today before I get into talking about the game, but just, today, 9/11, just greatly appreciate all the folks that are on the front line that work their tail off for us day in and day out. So thank you. Also like to recognize the stadium and the fans. I thought it was it was just an awesome atmosphere. It's been a while since we had an atmosphere like that, and thank you. We need it. Our players deserve it. You can tell they work extremely hard. It's my job to get it a little cleaner. We'll do that. We have to finish off people, much better. We had an opportunity at the end of the first half to really take full control. That didn't happen, but I was absolutely pleased with the way we started the second half. You talk about the middle 8. We had a chance to really put a knife in them, let them off the hook. They put the dagger in us with the late touchdown at the end of the first half, and we come back. They get the ball. We get an interception and go right down and score. Big part of the game. Really appreciate our players facing that adversity that happened at the end of the first half and once again responding. And so I thought we did so many good things. It's a shame that it had to be so close, but because we had opportunities to pull away. And we have to clean that up. We got to get better, and we will. Once again, there's no excuse for fumbling the ball on the 6-inch line. No excuse to get a field goal block. Well, I would have liked to have gone for it there, but if we make the extra point, or make the field goal, essentially ice the game. And it's been a while since we had one blocked, I believe. So you got to get that fixed. But proud of our team and our coaches. They did so many good things. You saw that. It was very evident today. We were challenged our team to be excited to play. They were. I felt like we were extremely physical. Once again, we had an opportunity to do. We had some really good drives there. And defensively, they had us on our heels. Give them credit. They did a lot of good things. With Connor at quarterback, they keep you off balance, and they did a nice job. But we rose up and made some stops when we had to. So overall great team victory. We'll enjoy it tonight and get back to work and try to get 3-0 next week.
Mark, I know there's some stuff you want to clean up. What does it say about your program if you make those kind of mistakes and still be a quality SEC opponent?
Yeah, I think that says a lot because you saw spurts out there tonight where we were pretty good, and I just got to get some things ironed out. I mean, we just got to get a better killer instinct. When we have an opportunity to ice it, and like I said, I don't want to single out any one guy, but some of those things are just really pissing me off. We can't fumble the football. There's no excuse for that, and got a chance to really put a fork in them. You know what I mean? And can't do it.
Is that the same quality to answer at the start of the second half the way they did?
Well, I think, starting the second half, we challenged them because it's easy to lose momentum right there because you feel like you're in total control. And it gets flipped on you in, a minute and 56. And so for us to respond like we did in the second half, the first possession says a lot. I mean, we were here for a game. I mean, we knew that. You're playing a quality opponent. You better strap it on for 4 quarters. And we were prepared for that, and that's what we did. That was one of the last things I said to him walking out before the game started, was absolutely, because we were excited to play, and we went up 14. I was like, be prepared for a 4-quarter game.
Play that JJ made there at the end to help put the game away.
I didn't even see what he did.
You didn't see the sack?
Did he get it? I don't know. Oh, that I didn't know who got it. We overloaded that side. He probably came scot-free with the pressure we had, so I can't give him too much credit for beating somebody on that. Yeah, so we called the overload, there, and it was a nice call by Brad, and it was a big play.
It felt like there were a couple. They were getting the aggravating yards,
But y'all did time up your shots on the blitzes on the third down.
We what?
On the 2 stops, you did time up the
We did. We got some. We were having a hard time. They were just. It was aggravating yards. It was. They were keeping us off balance. Some of those guys they're big. They got some big receivers. We got to get up and challenge them. Better and not give them such easy throws. And then Brad started mixing it up. We started rolling and clouding certain things and not giving them such clean looks. And that helped.
Mark, we saw a little bit more of Will's legs tonight. Is that something we thought
Yeah.
might save a little bit for this one?
Well, it's just there was a couple reads in there, and that was just a scheme and a play that we had the ability to read it, and I thought he did a nice job of pulling it there late during that long drive we were having towards the end of the game.
He doesn't
Seem like he wants to slide. What does that just kind of
Yeah.
say about him that he's.
Well, I saw him at halftime icing up his shoulder, so he better learn to slide a little bit because we're gonna play some more big boys here. But he's a tough kid. You could see he's put together. He works out extremely hard, and he's a tough guy, and he made some tough yards. And you know what? Your team and your fan base kind of rally around guys like that. That get some tough yards when you need them.
Think about the missed yardage in the run game last week that you all left out there. How much was that a focus to kind of get back to your identity in the run game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking here, and we rushed for 340 yards. That's pretty impressive. And there was a lot more passes called. You saw that. He pulled it down and scrambled some. I don't know how many sacks he had, but when you look at it and you look at opportunities, we called a lot more than that, and he scrambled quite a bit and so on. But the only time we went in total grind mode was the end of that first half, and we were moving the ball. It was crazy not to, and again, you heard me talk about it last week. If I could borrow it from Hayden again, scratch where it itches. Why take them off the hook if they weren't going to stop it? Why stop? And we drove it straight down the field and should have, killed clock and again had a great chance to ice it. Not ice it, but get a big lead there.
Mark, you knew that Connor was good. I mean, so poised. The guy's so smart, and yet he was able to kind of get outside on you all the time. Why was it so difficult to contain him?
Well, it's aggravating, you know. That's a couple times we had 3-man rushes. That maybe you could understand. There was several times we had spies on them. You know, we had guys injured, and again, I'm not making an excuse, but we had some critical guys that couldn't play late, and that are more experienced at some of the things we were doing, and we got to get that better. We got to do a better job. There are certain times where the spy, you know, should have been all over them. There are certain times when games, you know, got to come around, and you know, I have to see it all, but there was a combination of things.
Especially his toughness.
I mean, just, you know, you can't say enough good things about him, really. Just you know, so tough. Takes shots, just bounces back up, makes, you know, the long pass he had, that was a, you know, both, you know, two long passes were critical, that he hauled in today, that weren't easy catches. You know, those are difference makers. You've heard me talk about it in here for a long time. You know, you got to have some guys that could make some big time plays, and it's nice to have them on our team. I cannot at all understand why, you know, it wasn't. I need an explanation. I will not be giving you that explanation. I don't want to spend that money on that, you know, so I won't tell you. But I can tell you they're going to say he didn't hit him in the head. So.
About how this offense has come along, because there for a good stretch you guys were running the ball so well, we're really leaning on that. But in that second half, when you guys had some third and longs, still able to convert and kind of move the sticks, when in years past that really hadn't been the case.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, we you know, we were effective in the pass game early on in the first half. When I looked at the stats at halftime, it was you know, something was whatever it was, 5 and 9 or something to that effect. Obviously, again, he pulled quite a few down when they were covered. You knew they were playing an aggressive style. I told you that. So, you know, going into the game, and there were times when they did cover us up, and he had to pull it down and escape, and he ran for some positive yards at times, and that was good. But yes, it is nice to have that ability and that balance to be able to throw the ball.
As you all look for more turnovers on defense, do you need to do something schematically there, or do you need more individual plays like the one Jacquez made where he just threw it out and made it?
It'll happen. I mean, you know, listen, like last year we were so far plus that when you look at the experts, they're like, there's no way they're going to have that many again. Just you know what I mean? Like sometimes it bounces your way, sometimes it doesn't. You know, I mean, we do the same thing. I mean, so we were incredible last year. You know what I mean? So we got to make some plays. I mean, we had one right in our hands. You know, again, we got the opportunity to ice the game. I mean, tell me how to teach them to catch that. You know, we'll do it.
Can you attribute the fumbles in particular too? Is that just?
Well, I tell you, I didn't like the fumble because I felt like there were other things on his mind prior to crossing that goal line. But you know Chris, and I know Chris, and he came back, and he will be a beast, and he'll play hard, and I have all the confidence in him. But that doesn't mean we're not going to correct him, you know, and he will. He'll get it fixed, and he bounced back, and he knows better.
Mark, how do you think the team tackled this evening?
I thought we missed way too many tackles in the flats. And again, when you hear me talk all these years, when do you miss tackles? When you're out of position. You know, and that's when you miss tackles. When we tackle great, we have a bunch of guys in really good position. Now, some people stretch out, and you know what I mean, and that's part of it, and they got really good players and make you miss in the flats, and that's going to happen. I mean, how many times do we make people miss too? You know, it's part of it. But again, it's a team defense. When you have guys in great position, you tend to not miss as many tackles.
Getting a lot of separation on the deep routes. Is that a quick first step? Is it precise route running? What is it about him?
Yeah, he's very knowledgeable, and you know, he's hard to get hands on. You know, he has that ability to make himself skinny and not give his chest up, and you know, get off some press. And that we need. That was a huge play. That was third down, if I'm not mistaken. That long one he caught there, and I mean, we've just missed that. You know what I mean? And Will threw it a tad under, but he couldn't miss that throw. You know what I mean? He couldn't go for the perfection right there because he had him beat so bad. You had to convert. So that's why once in a while those are maybe you'd rather have him a yard underthrown because you're still going to convert it than just trying to hit him right in stride. You know what I mean? You just can't miss. You can't overthrow that. And so that was the same with Josh when we talked about it last week. You know, he was smart to underthrow that by 1 yard. It was still a touchdown. You overthrow it, it's incomplete.
Obviously, none of it matters without the skill, but when you talk about the way Will runs, the way Rodriguez runs, the way Wandell pops up after taking that shot and he's waving to the crowd, jumping up and down, how much does attitude play a factor for you guys when you have a group of guys that have that sort of,
Well,
I think you'd say junkyard dog kind of mentality?
Well, it's the first thing we talk about in our program. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the 4 pillars of our program are this, that. I don't talk about pillars, but I talk about attitude, toughness, discipline, and pride. And attitude's the number one thing we talk about. So you better have an attitude or you're not going to play here. So I love seeing it. I love the way he, you know, I love their effort, you know, and again, it's my job to get them ready each and every week. And they certainly responded today. They were ready to play. Maybe a little over anxious at times, but we'll find that right slot. Our best football's in front of us.
Mark, it seems like the only time we mention Chris is due to the fumbles. I mean, he did pretty good otherwise. Do you think that's maybe a sign that we take him for granted too much?
Yeah, you're right. He had 206 yards. Yeah, I guess he got that fixed. I mean, those are the type of kids we have in our program. You know, they understand, and it's not about any of us in you know, any individual. You know, it's for the greater cause, and you know, he understands that, and hey, we lean on him. We need him, and you know, late in the game there, he needed a breath, and I was like, we need you, man. We need you. Come on, horse. Come on. And luckily there was a TV timeout. I think they had somebody hurt. And
Mark, did y'all do anything to approach what Beatty was getting done, to run to the right contingent in the first half? Beatty?
yeah.
Yeah. Y'all do anything to kind of slow him down? Because you know.
I mean, no, he's a really good player. He's really explosive. And they had 104 net yards rushing, you know, probably a little less than they want because they usually are more balanced than that as well, but they were effective throwing the ball. So I'm not questioning them. They certainly moved the ball on us better than a lot of people lately and kept us off balance, but it starts with their run game as well. You have to respect it. And fortunately, we kept on getting some leads, which probably led to them being a little more in the pass category, but it's not like we were stopping them all the time either. I mean, but I am proud of our defense. We made some critical stops when we had to.
This game has been kind of like that in the last few years. I mean, last year, especially, you're sort of playing from behind the line. They were on that side of it.
Right.
How did it?
Well, I would have liked to have gotten that field goal even at the end, you know, and like I talked about the one at the end of the half, we can't leave points on the field. I mean, we have a chance to we score 35 and should have been 45, right? You know, and I mean we legitimately, you know, got to say, I mean, you know, as far as Liam's concerned in the offense, to me they scored 45. You know, they didn't, but they did a good enough job to.
All right, folks, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate it. We'll
Apparently the UFC game just started, and the kicker got ejected on the first play for target.
Hey!
Alright, so I'll let you guys jump right in.
Hey, where am I looking at? Just at them?
Whoever.
Alright. Alright, this is my first time doing this.
You're matching record. And voting.
Oh, yeah. Hey, shout out to Lynn. Tell him give me a call for real.
What was going through your mind after that fumble?
Nothing. I mean, it happened. Me and Smoke talked about it last week. You got to put it behind you. You got to move forward. And he came up to me today and was like, you got to put it behind you. We're going to need you for the game. I got my team on my back. Everybody, if you really look at the tape, everybody came up to me. Hey, you got this. We're going to need you. You got this. You got this. So, big shout out to my team for that, keeping me in the game.
Chris, you had 28 touches. How many touches is too much for you?
None. If the coach want to give me the ball, I'm going to keep getting the ball. That's it.
You said you got a little bit tired there at the end.
Nah, I wasn't tired. I just had a lot on my mental.
What? We talked a lot about the running game kind of being this close, leaving some 10 yards out.
Yep.
What was going right for the running game this week?
Just me communicating more with the O-line. After every series, if we would come off, I would be like, hey, like, what's going on? Where do you think I need to hit it at? And me, Dare, Kennard, we all just talked about it. And those guys were like, hey, I ain't gonna tell you the signals, but he was like, if I do this, I do this. So I just trust them dudes.
It felt like you got running stronger as the game went on. Is that fair to say?
For the most part, but I feel like I still got some work to do.
Chris, talk about your
Touchdown catch.
Yeah. Hey, I'm actually excited about that. It's my first time, first one.
didn't know you could do that.
I mean, I knew I could do it, but but yeah, I was. It felt really good. I can say when we put that play in. You know, it's supposed to come to us, but we work a different, few things. And when we did run a play, I was like, man, please just let me get the ball. And the reception touchdown, I seen it happening. And when it came to me, I was ready, and you saw the outcome.
When Liam Cohen was hired, we heard pass. Were
Yeah.
you worried at all that you were still going to get the rock?
Worry?
Were you worried when he was hired and there was so much talk about the pass?
Nah, I mean, well, he was at the Rams. I'm like, okay. Todd Gurley, I used to watch Todd Gurley, all the time. So, I mean, when he came in, I was like, shoot, I'm ready for it.
What was the mood like at halftime? They had that big turnaround right before the half, and was the coach mad or what?
Nah, we just knew we had more work to do. I blamed that on myself. And I told everybody in that locker room, I shouldn't have fumbled the ball, but that's on me. We shouldn't even been in that predicament, but we were. So I put that on me.
When you see Will lowering his shoulder to get first down, what does that do for the rest of you guys?
When he did that, I was like, okay, this dude is different. But it just goes to show that we have weapons everywhere. Will might not be they might not think he's a run threat, but let everything be locked up and him have it wide open. You're gonna see.
Coach Stoops said that your best football is still ahead of you as a team. What does it say about this group that you just got a pretty big SEC win and it seems like there's a lot more?
We know we got more work to do. And that's everybody in that locker room knows it. Coaches know it. And we're ready. We're ready to put that work in.
Chris, you're a big, strong, physical guy and all like that.
Yes, sir.
Wandale's not quite
That big and strong. Talk about that hit that he takes and just how tough you think he is.
Yeah, so that hit, I didn't know. I was like, wow. But, he might not seem big and strong or whatever, but that little kid, not little kid, but a little dude got heart.
One or two more, we got some guys already waiting on you all as well in the cafeteria. There's some debate online as to whether you or Eli gets credit for that last touchdown.
You can give it to Eli. Let him have it. I mean, I'm not worried about it. I know, like I told Eli, that's on me again. I still got more work to do, and I can't wait to put that work in. But, I'll let you get it, even though I think I was across the goal line, but.
Chris, this offense is rolling pretty good in the first 2 weeks, but how much do you guys have to clean up those turnovers?
A lot, and that's going to be – okay, so in the running back room, we have our names down. It's like, okay, what do you want to focus on this week? And last week I was like, all right, well, first game last year, I had fumbles or whatever. And this week I was like, I want to pick up pass pro. So I think going forward, it needs to be my job to just focus on holding the rock. You know, as a running back, you are not supposed to fumble at all, but I did, and that's where I need to put more work in.
All right, guys, appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all.
Will and Jaquez are over in the cafeteria waiting on you guys.